Hello, I'm Ania Lichtarowicz, and welcome to Somewhere on Earth, the Global Tech Podcast. This week, we're in Lisbon. Yes, folks, it's that time of year again. Over 70,000 people are gathering in Portugal's capital to talk tech. From startups pre-seed with no money, looking for that first cash injection, to big tech companies. And it is opening night here at Web Summit Central. We are in the Speakers Lounge, which will hold well over 1,000 people easily, and the opening ceremony is about to start. We'll be bringing you stories from around the globe and from all over the world of tech. In 2020, presidential elections were held in Belarus. Alexander Lukashenko was announced the winner, his sixth term in office with an 80% share of the vote. Lukashenko had won every single election since 1994. International election monitors had described 5 of them as neither free nor fair. The opposition protested, claiming that its leader, Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya, received 60% of the vote. Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya now lives in exile in Lithuania. We're very honoured to have our first president here on Somewhere on Earth. She is sometimes referred to as the Belarusian opposition leader, but she is the true president of Belarus, Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, you are at Web Summit the first time. Why are you here?
So first of all, I'm so grateful, to be at the Web Summit and to Belarusians who, for the very first time in history, managed to organize our own Belarusian booth here, and together with me be promoting the importance of Belarusian tech companies who are working from exile now, because after elections in 2020, many Belarusian companies have been liquidated and ruined by the regime, and people had to work to start their businesses being abroad.
Now, Belarus was quite famous for its technology. Many people considered it as the first nation in technology in Eastern Europe. How are things now? Because obviously so many entrepreneurs, startups have had to leave and are now in exile.
Look, you're absolutely right. Belarus was called Silicon Valley of Eastern Europe because our IT companies have been developed so fast in Belarus and successfully. And Belarusians are joking that the IT sphere is so successful because Lukashenko's regime hasn't a clue what IT is about. But of course, after repressions has started and Belarusian IT companies were among those who supported our really surprising our resistance so much, regime started to put revenge on these companies and just blocked, liquidated, closed them, and companies had to seek for continuation of their businesses abroad. So on the one hand, it's such a pity that Belarus lost so many talented, wonderful people who were contributing to Belarusian economy. On the other hand, I am so glad that these companies managed to reactivate their businesses. Yes, now they're contributing to European Union countries, whom we are grateful actually for assistance to Belarusian people. But I'm sure that when the moment comes after changes, all those companies, will relaunch their businesses in Belarus and bring new investments because, now they are not in the country, but the country is in the people. So their heart is in Belarus, and they will find, solutions how to invest and to rebuild everything that Lukashenko has been ruined.
Belarus 2.0. Tell me what that is.
So at the moment, we Belarusians, especially those who live in exile, we are nation or people without state. Our state is seized by a dictator, and it's impossible to do something, inside the country, something useful for people. And now we Belarusians developing another Belarus, parallel Belarus. One Belarus is seized by Lukashenko. Second Belarus that is pro-democratic, that is European, and we are preparing our society, our systems for post-Lukashenko period. So now our Belarusian tech companies, Belarusian IT specialists, we already invented instruments for voting. We creating platforms where people can communicate, where people can provide services, where people can look for each other, seeking for support. We are in exile. We managed to launch fundraising campaigns, different initiatives that support Belarusians and Ukrainians. So we building the vision of new Belarus, relying a lot on new technologies, on artificial intellect. This is what pro-Lukashenko Belarus is deprived of.
So you're using technology to resist Putin, Lukashenko, but you're also using it to build a new Belarus.
Yeah, absolutely. We are really, we have wonderful, talented Belarusians who are, very experienced in technologies, and these people are not working for their personal profits, for their businesses. They are contributing to our movement as well, providing us with instruments how we can counter propaganda or how we can hack different Lukashenko systems and institutions to get necessary data, or information. So it's, maybe in different countries, businesses working separately from politicians, but in our situation, we have to work at the united and actually unique movement.
President Tsikhanouskaya, thank you so much for joining us on Somewhere on Earth.
Thank you.
Across the site here at Web Summit, there are 5 pavilions full of companies big and small promoting their products. Over the coming weeks, you're going to be hearing more about some of these, the ones that we thought were the best of the best. It can get a little noisy, so bear with us, but hopefully you'll be able to hear it all.
My full name is Bill Reykjavik, and my full title is Managing Director of Infiltrate IQ.
InfiltrateIQ.com. Tell me more about what you do.
So we've developed an AI that does penetration testing for web applications and APIs. We believe we're the first in the world to do so, and it's fully AI driven. There's no human interaction whatsoever.
So go on, tell me the thought process behind designing this quite scary looking, I think, vision in front of us.
We're trying to go for scary. Actually, if you look over there, there's a much more, I'd say, complimentary picture of Anna. So this is our prototype hologram, which is interactive, by the way. You can speak to her. Anyways, that aside, we looked at the world of penetration testing, and for those that don't know much about it, it can be very costly and very time-consuming. So traditional penetration testing for web applications can take anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months to perform.
And why do you need to do penetration testing? Remind our listeners as to why that's so vitally important.
That's a very, very good question. So a penetration test is like hiring an quote-unquote ethical hacker to try to attack your website or web application to see where it's vulnerable. So if you build a web application and you don't do a pen test, you don't know if you're vulnerable or not. So the idea is you pay somebody to act as or simulate an attacker, and therefore they will discover the vulnerabilities that an attacker would. You patch those vulnerabilities, and therefore your web application is much safer.
Why would using an AI be a better idea than using a human ethical hacker?
We use AI for a couple of reasons. So one is I told you the 2 weeks to 2 months time period to perform a pen test traditionally. Our AI does it in an average of 3 days. So 3 to 4 days, it's done. The other reason is it's very costly. So if you're paying a pen tester, a ethical hacker, it can cost anywhere from, I'll use euros, let's say 5,000 to 40,000 euros to perform one penetration test. And there are a lot of organizations that simply can't afford that. So what we've done is our AI currently, Vana has not asked us to pay her, thankfully, so we can bring the cost down. And it's about $2,500 US for a penetration test versus 10, 20, 30,000 euros. So it's much more affordable. There are a lot of companies that can afford $2,500 for a penetration test where they couldn't before. So we feel like we're making the world more secure by making penetration testing available even to the small businesses and small organizations.
And when are you looking to roll this out?
It's already rolled out. We've been around for 2 years. We started selling about a year ago, and we've got an enterprise level client where we've got clients, and we're taking our show on the road. So we're here at the conferences letting everybody know that this exists. A lot of people don't know about this, and we're really excited. We're excited because we're going to make penetration testing affordable and available to everybody.
I assume you're going to be able to adapt her quite quickly, aren't you? Because if some new hack is discovered, some new way of penetrating into a system, you're going to be able to program that into the LLM, aren't you?
That's exactly right, yeah. Maybe we could hire you to help us out. This is really great. No, you're 100% correct. Our AI is updated there are constantly new vulnerabilities being discovered, and our AI is being updated with them, definitely. The other side to it is, once our AI has done the penetration test and written the reports, she is deleted, gone. The reports only stay on our dashboard for 3 days by default, and then they are also deleted. So you download your reports and then they're deleted. So we keep no data. So it's very, very, very clean. There's no data hanging over. It's simple to use. You don't need to know how to do a pen test. Just go to our dashboard and enter in the target. So you enter a URL in, www.abc.com, and you schedule the test.
And I assume you want to clean all that data and get rid of it so quickly because you don't want, if someone was to hack your systems, they would then have access to vulnerabilities of companies. Is that the thinking behind it?
That's exactly the thinking behind it. You don't want that type of data hanging around. It's very dangerous. So, why have it hanging around? Let's delete it, get rid of it, and that way nobody knows what the vulnerabilities are. You've got the client has the report in their hands. They can address the issues, and they're the only ones that know about it. So it works very nicely that way.
So you don't, as the MD, you don't even know what your AI is finding out? Correct.
There's no human interaction whatsoever. We don't know what the AI is doing. The AI does it all herself, and we've done hundreds and hundreds of tests. We've had tests compared, our AI tests versus human tests. The quality's there, and we're really excited. Sometimes our AI finds more things than humans do.
Bill and Vanya, thank you very much for joining us on Somewhere on Earth.
It's my pleasure, thank you.
It is Monday evening at Web Summit. Opening ceremony is about to start next to the arena here in Lisbon. Now, the likes of Elton John, the likes of Coldplay, it is who has not played in this amazing arena. And we're going to be going there and attending the opening ceremony in a moment. But before we do, I've managed to catch up with a guy called Richard Mort. Now, Richard, I saw your post on LinkedIn. It flagged up that I was being tagged. And then I started looking into it and I thought, oh my gosh, what you've done is genius. So first of all, tell me who you are. Yeah, give me a little bit about yourself. You said to me you're a door opener, which is quite an intriguing phrase, one I've not heard before.
Well, I'm a Brit who learns languages, which puts me in a rare category, I think, from the start. I studied French and German. I went to Japan for 20 years, and I'm compressing a lot into a short space. But back in the day in Japan, I was a translator, so I was using my degree. And recently, in the last few years with AI, I've just become a door opener, which means I would say my USP is not language so much as knowing Japan inside out and living in Europe. I live in Germany now 5 years, and half my life has been in Europe, half in Japan and Asia. So I feel like I literally am a bridge between the two. And I open doors for myself and others, connecting people, networking, and it's my happy place, I would say, yeah.
Your happy place, and you did something quite intriguing and actually, I think, pretty darn clever. You kind of got out a lot of hidden information from the Web Summit app and made it accessible.
Yeah, it's like I when I see an app which is suboptimal, which is all the time for a trade show and event, I kind of see it as a personal slight, and I have to kind of reverse engineer, look at the app, and I know everyone going is spending a lot of time and money to be here, including me. So, if I don't know everyone who's going and which category and which day and everything, if you don't have all the information in front of you, you can't get the maximum benefit out of the event, which is simple. And I feel like I want that, and everyone else is going to want that too. And if I worried about what the event organisers would say, I wouldn't do it, but I tend not to. And lo and behold, when I put these articles up free of charge, no one can believe I did it all free, because it does take a lot of effort. But things happen. I got a free ticket worth €2,500. I got people at the top of the tree replying to me and engaging me, and I feel like it's givers gain. In a word, it's just if you give enough, that the universe gives back to you, and I feel like this is what's happening, so pretty happy, yeah.
And now kind of looking at what you actually did, there are going to be thousands of speakers' names, thousands of moderators' names, companies, sponsors, all these people are there. And it is, as an app goes, actually, it's pretty darn good, as a lot of trade show apps go, but it is still quite confusing. And you took that information and you kind of dragged it out, and you said, if you wanted to speak to someone in this area, speak to them. If you want to speak to someone in this area, speak to them. And it was incredibly simple and incredibly clear. You did much more, so tell me a little bit about the technology, how you actually managed to do it.
I mean, to be honest with you, like all of us, I use AI, and it's ubiquitous now. It's like using Google Maps, isn't it? But the thing is, it's kind of pattern spotting and pattern matching, I would say. It's part of it, knowledge engineering. When I see the app, it's not as simple as if I click 20 pages, I'm going to get 20 lots of information, and I cut and paste it. It's more like if I go into the app and the program and so on, somewhere there is all the information in one big mountain. And what I want is to take that mountain and rearrange it into a really logical format, which all of us would want. It's like if you want to talk to AI people or medical people, there's a category, there's a day, and it's 80,000 people. There's a lot to deal with, and unless it's in that kind of format, then we're not going to get all the information. And I don't know, it's just me. I have this kind of thing. I'm a perfectionist. I want to see everything in front of me so I can make the maximum use of time. If I go back thinking, but I could have known about this, I could have met this person, I'll be upset on the way home. I don't want that. So I'm sure other people feel the same. So, that's how I approach it. I go into a tunnel. I call it going into a tunnel. I have this laser focus. I just, have a cup of tea or a few cups of tea, just do what I have to do. It is faster than before. And I think the thing is, people looking at it would think it took weeks. It doesn't take weeks, it takes maybe 2 or 3 days, because if you use the tools properly, it's fast. But again, you have to have the idea. It's not just the technical ability. I think it's just as much having the idea. A lot of people could have the technical ability to do it, but they wouldn't have the idea to do it in the first place. But for me, it's like, it's obvious. It's like, this is not doing the job, so I want to do the job,
You want to do the job, and what a job. I mean, I have to say, I do find a lot of these apps with such a massive information really difficult. But as soon as I looked at what you've done, I was just like, oh, goodness me, this is clear. I understand. I can see exactly who I want to talk to, when, I could even work out when they're going to be here. But you didn't only do it for the delegates, you expanded on it as well. And it really is key. Do you think you're going to have people knocking on your door or maybe the next Web Summit, they're going to say, you know what, you can do this for us, could you?
That's a very good question. Actually, I did reach out to Web Summit. Logically, I felt I should, if I hadn't got a ticket, I would have been knocking on the door a bit harder for a free ticket. But to be honest, I paid the flight and the hotel. That was a lot of money already. So I got a ticket from a startup here. 270 Degrees. I'm going to name them because they very kindly gave me a ticket. I think I could work with them. I feel like every year they're doing the event, it's probably getting bigger and more successful every year. I feel I have a lot to offer. If not as a speaker, then someone who could amplify the event. And LinkedIn articles, I've done about 80 of them. Every time I put it up, it does go a bit viral. The thing about it is, when you tag someone directly in a post, it's a bit too obvious, and people don't like it, so the name is up there. If I do it in an article, it's not obviously there in front of people, but they get a notification. For me, this is the best way. It's the best kind of compromise, because no one comes back to me and says, why are you mentioning me? But they still find out about it already. So if they want to get in touch with me, they can. So for me, it's just a good balance. Yeah.
And when we say viral, tell me how many people?
It's tens of thousands. Of course, I want more, but I think it's a great start. And we're in a little bit of a niche anyway. So for me, I'm getting a lot of DMs every day. I have about, 100 or 200 new connections every day, and I think it's going well. If I had any more, my phone's going to blow up. So I think for me, it's enough, But I always want more, but yeah.
Richard, thank you very much, and thank you so much for clearing up for me, and I'm sure
so many other people here that complicated app and taking out the info that we needed. It really is appreciated.
No, it's a pleasure, and I hope to manage to help anyone very happy. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
That's it from this week's show from Web Summit Lisbon. If you would like to get in touch, then please do so via our socials or by emailing hello@somewhereonearth.co. The production manager is Liz Toohey, and I'm the editor of the show. We're part of the Evergreen Podcast Network, and our sponsors are Roost and Satience. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.